Hey, welcome to my channel, Crafting with Cami. On my desk, I have the Enjoy the Ride Scrapbooking Workshop. And this was a workshop kit that Close to My Heart had made prior to going out of business. And they allowed Stampin' Up! To sell it to Close to My Heart customers and makers. So I was able to get my hands on this in May. There is another Close to My Heart collection coming out in June, and that one is called Lake Life. So if you know me, I am going to be getting my hands on that one. So if you were a Close to My Heart customer of mine, you will have access to the Close to My Heart collection, Lake Life, coming out in June. Let's take a look at what comes with this. So the Enjoy the Ride Scrapbooking Workshop. So you can see that it's Close to My Heart branded and Stampin' Up! So that's kind of cool to see. Alright, so this collection comes with the coordinating enamel dots. So the 4 different colors and then the 3 different size dots. We have some placeholders. So if you create your layout prior to printing your photos, we have some 4x6, some 4x4, 3x4, 3x3. I like to hang on to these. So even if I have my photos ready for this particular layout, I have these in my stash. They also work for photo mats, so if you cut your picture down just slightly smaller than 3x3, you can use this as a white frame behind your photos. It came with this little stencil of little florals and leaves. So there's 2 of them in here. So one is the like floral, and then the other one is the leaf, and you can kind of layer them up. So that's cute. And these are pretty small. I don't have my ruler by me here, but they're not huge stencils. Okay, we have the instructions. So it tells you exactly how to cut your papers, which papers to use, and then it has enough to create 3 2-page layouts. This is the sticker sheet. I absolutely love, these are the moments, these moments matter most. Has all these word stickers and the border stickers. Nothing but blue skies. I have some really cool pictures of the sky in some upcoming pictures. The clouds have just been perfect lately. I don't know, I've been obsessed with clouds lately. So for sure going to be saving that one for those. Enjoying the little things, some journaling stickers. Those are always great to have. Some banners. Making our own memories. So love the sticker sheet. And then it comes with the pattern paper. So I have already, they're double-sided, so I already flipped half of these over. But we have these butterflies and the zip strips. This really busy pattern paper, but beautiful. It's kind of like a watercolor. Some little florals. It's always nice to have the small patterns and the large patterns. They seem to mix well. We have some suns, some bikes, and some plaid. This really reminds me of picnic table. So very summery. I love it. I wanted to show you, I did get the Enjoy the Ride card making Stampin' Thin Cuts. So these florals are actually very similar to this paper. So you can kind of build your own. So this will be the inside of these ones. I love that. So we'll be bringing this in as well. Because it's a scrapbooking workshop, it comes with the die cuts, or they're just paper, but they just punch right out. They're a little thinner than cardstock. They're not as thick as our cardstock, but I love the little clouds, sunny days, stop and smell the flowers, full of joy, enjoy the ride, of course, since that's what our collection is called. And there's 2 sheets of that. These journaling strips are perfect. You can punch out this little part, and it has the frame. So many different layers and banners. Another little journaling tag. More clouds. And the workshop kit comes with exclusive pattern paper. So the exclusive pattern paper is just one-sided. We have some bluebird coordinating colors, jade, limeade. So we have 2 of the green pattern. I don't know if you can see that pattern real good. It's just kind of textured. And then the blue is kind of like a wash. And then this one has those little plus signs. I don't really know what to call those, little X's. And then it comes with the coordinating cardstock. So we have the honey butter, the rosy, limeade. We have some white. Actually, this is French vanilla. So, got a few pages of that. I think there's a 4th one in here. There we go. The Lake Life that I was mentioning, that one, we will have a scrapbooking workshop, a card making workshop. So you'll want to check our website come June to see all of those. All right, we'll go ahead and get this cleaned up and we'll get started. The photos I'll be documenting today are of a hike my husband and I went on to Devil's Gulch. So the stones, called pipestone, are super pink and bright. The water was bright green, pretty gross, but the way the water was reflecting off of those stones was really cool. Can you see that? And this is actually where the legend, Jesse James, jumped over the river on his horse. So they have a bridge where he crossed, where he got away. And so yeah, it's not too far from our house. So we actually come hiking here quite often. So I have some pictures of that, and you can climb really high up above the trees. So that's kind of what these point of views are. And then there's a little waterfall that you can see from the bottom. So here we're like level with it. You can see the waterfall. And then you can actually walk over to the waterfall and stand above it. So there's some different angles of that. And then again, the reflections on the stone of the water. So cool. I separated my photos. So my main photos, my favorite photos, are 4x6. The rest I have printed in 4x3, 3x4. These ones I don't want to crop down. I think I would lose too much of the photo if I tried to crop them any. I don't want to lose the look of the photo. These ones, I do feel that I could crop down to 3x3. So I've sorted them between not wanting to crop down and okay to crop down. As usual, I have way too many photos. Do you guys have this issue, or am I the only one that prints too many photos? There's just too many good ones. I can't choose. So these ones are going to be like a collage style. And then I was thinking a grid style on this side of the ones that I can crop down. So right now, these are at 3x4. Again, my printer does not print exact, so it's actually a hair shy, but I'm going to crop these down to squares. So probably 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. Okay, so I'm going to crop all of those ones down and I will be back. This is kind of what I'm thinking. I know it doesn't look like much right now, but kind of doing a collage style on this side and then this side being a grid. So I've gutted out or cut out the center of some bluebird paper. This is a coordinating color for the Enjoy the Ride collection. And then I cut the same for over on this side. I've cut down white cardstock to 11 by 11.5. So that gives me a 1/2 inch border all the way around. And then I did that times 2. All right, I'll go ahead and get these glued down. I know I typically start on the left-hand side, but this time I'm going to start on the right. I know I want a grid style over here. So I'm just going to start bringing in my pattern papers and whatnot. To make this a little easier for you to see, I'm going to move this one out of the way and we'll bring this one center. One of the exclusive papers I want to use is this one. So it's one-sided from the Enjoy the Ride collection. And I know that I'm going to want a white frame around my pictures. I don't think my pictures will show up nicely on this. So I want a white frame. Like so. So I cut that paper down to 3.5. And then my placeholders are going to go like this. And then my photos will go on top of the placeholder with that little border. All right. Now I'm trying to decide what other papers I want for these spots. So I pulled out the pattern papers from that collection. I really like this blue one. I'm wearing blue, my hat's blue, the sky is blue. Here's a better picture of that. It's not the right blue, but it might help bring out some of the darker. The butterflies are cute, but I don't know. I really like this one, and I was going to bring in that stamp set. I've already made a few of those. So this might be nice, but I'm not sure how much of that. Let's see here. Because not a whole lot of it is going to show. But it does bring in all of those colors. So that might be nice. Maybe we'll bring in this one, the green, which would make the green of these pop. Maybe I'll bring in some more green. I decided on that bigger pattern. And if you can see in the center of that big blue flower, there's like charcoal. So I'm actually going to go around the edges in charcoal ink rather than black or any other color. I want to bring out some of that. So I'm just going to brush this along. And I think I'm going to go around the photo mats as well. So this stone in my pictures, it's called pipestone. So it's that pinkish tone from the hematite. And we have a ton of it where I live. Not like, it's so random. So I live by a bunch of farmland and we have normal rocks. But then if you go to these state parks and these monuments, there's pipestone. And it's just the most random structures and they're just so jagged and it's crazy when you walk through them. So a lot of my pictures have this pipestone in them when we go for hikes locally. Yeah, I can think of at least 4 parks close by that have them. And they're all just slightly different. So it's always fun to go hike there and kind of rock climb. We don't really climb them. You can. There are people that take out their gear and they actually climb up the stone, but we don't. We just hike around what we can. Oh my, I might need to use the other side of this one. Got a little bent on me. So do you guys have pipestone where you're from? Where are you from? Or do you have the same kind of thing, like random structures in your area? So there were 2 different trails. Devil's Gulch is the main one. That's where Jesse James jumped. And then the Devil's Ford is like around the river. So like this photo was taken. See how there's no stones over here. It's just grass and field and trees. Like this is Devil's Ford. And then in Devil's Gulch, it's all these rock formations. It's just crazy the difference. And it's so random around here. I don't know how to explain it. So this is what I'm thinking. To get them all centered, I'll bring in my T-square ruler. I'll go ahead and get these adhered since we know which photos we want where. I adhered these two corners down, and now I can go from the top and line it up with this one to get this one adhered. And I'm just eyeballing the distance here and here, how much white is showing. Okay, and then I can go from this one to do this one. Okay, and I can double check that by going across this one. Okay, so then this one goes down here. So we can line up that. And then I just center this so the same amount of white is showing on either side of that. And I believe that was this one. Because then here, here, and here, yeah. Just eyeballing and making sure I have the same distance. Right there. Okay, this one then I can come from the top. All right. Okay, so I could put these in the flip flaps. I have 3x3 flip flaps from Close to My Heart. And I'm going to adhere these on top of the page protector. But I could put the adhesive this direction or up and down. And if you're not familiar, so these are Close to My Hearts. And they had 3x4, 4x6, 3x3, 4x4. They had a ton of different sizes. Stampin' Up! Did say they are going to start carrying flip flaps, but they haven't said when they'll start carrying them yet. And I'm not sure how they'll package them or what sizes they'll do. But I absolutely love flip flaps. They will forever be in my stash. So if you are interested in these as well, keep an eye on my website, and Stampin' Up! Should be getting those sometime. The open squares are going to be embellishments, and I don't think I want embellishments all in a row. So I'm going to move some of my photos around so that my embellishments are more scattered. So these can actually go back to back this way, since it'll be flipping that way. So we'll glue these together facing this way. I have adhered my flip flap directly to my page and then cut my page protector to slide the flip flap out of the page protector. But this time I'm just going to adhere it directly onto the page protector. Okay, so you just want to make sure that's completely centered. And then you'll line up the picture with the picture. This one, we have this one. So this one needs to be upside down so that when it flips, it's right side up. I like to adhere them together just in case they do slip in the flip flap. It's not noticeable. Okay. So this one I think we'll have over here, and then this one over here since I'm kind of looking in. So these two can go back to back straight since the flip is going that direction. So we'll put this in here. And then this one is flipping up, so one needs to be upside down. I think I'm going to bring in my other side so that when we do the embellishments, we can kind of play off of both sides together. Okay, so for this side, I will have another flip flap for these 4x6s. And we were kind of thinking something along these lines. And one thing I recommend when bringing in a companion page, or once you already know what you're doing on one side, bring those patterns over to the other side. So for instance, we have this pattern paper. I love it. It brings out the pinks in my pipestone. So I could bring that over here. I also have this green. I could do some strips. I could do some strips down at the bottom. I want my title to be Devil's Gulch. I could stamp it directly on. I could use some die cuts and cut it out of pattern paper. These die cuts for Devil's Gulch are part of the new, they were released, Close to My Heart made them, but Stampin' Up sold them. So they're the baseline alphabet. They're the new with the little, this is my first time using them. So I was thinking using those for the title, but I don't know what color to do. I want to bring this pattern paper over. So if I do like this redder color up top, will I also want to bring it down to the bottom? I may want to frame some of these pictures. Will I want to frame them in the green, or will I want to frame them in this red color? Because I don't want the colors on top of each other. So like if I put that one with the green, it's going to be right next to this green, which isn't the end of the world, but does it actually make my photo pop? Does it look good? Or should I bring in this one behind my photo? Oh, that almost looks a little nicer. And then I could bring this green one in over here, but that's kind of dark. I do need white behind that, and I do have more photo mats. So I could trim this photo down a little bit more and have it on the green. If I have pattern paper down here, I may not need to frame that one with anything, but I do have more of this one that I'll want to bring over so that it coordinates. I decided to cut this pattern paper down, and that is actually cut 3.5 by 10 3/4, just to give it that little white border around the edges. And then I did go around it with my charcoal ink, just to give it a little more definition. I have this zip strip that I cut off one of the papers. I can't remember which one it was on, but I just cut out the center part since my photos are gonna go over that. And then I went over the outside with that same charcoal ink. So this one will go right down here, and I can just line up the bottom, line up the side, and then this one will go up at the top. My photos. So I matted this one in this paper. I matted this one in the bluebird. This one in this green pattern. I did this one actually in paprika. I thought the paprika fit nicely with these little plus signs, and I did the light side. So this is dark paprika, and I did light side paprika. And I was thinking that could go over here. And then I have another of the green. Okay, so I was thinking something like that with my title going up here. This is the baseline alphabet. I cut my title out of that, and I did it in the paprika solid cardstock. And then I used this green pattern paper and I just cut off the line at the bottom. So when we line it up, I'll offset it. It blends in with that one, that pattern paper, quite a bit. But I think once we get it all together, I think you'll be able to read it. So it'll actually read Devil's Gulch. All right, I'm gonna get my photos adhered so that we can start laying out that title. If you're liking today's video, please hit that thumbs up button. It helps more people see my videos on YouTube and it helps my channel grow. At the time of this recording, Enjoy the Ride is still available. So I know they released some bulk papers. The card making workshop was still available. I can't guarantee that the scrapbooking workshop or these particular dies are available, but I know they were releasing like bulk paper and whatnot. So definitely check out Enjoy the Ride. My website will be linked below, and I'll link any of the Enjoy the Ride products that are still available down in the description box. So just hit that little more button down below this video. You'll see the description along with all of the links. If you had a close to my heart email address, you'll want to use that same email address through Stampin' Up, and that'll give you access to these. I do want to put a parentheses here. So here's the inside of the C. Yeah, I think that looks good, but then I have to do one for the out of the green. So I'll just trace this one. Go ahead and add some glue there. So we're gonna go up there so that when I put the green one on, it'll go up there. We'll start embellishing. First things first, I have this little rosy tag from it's from the project punch outs. I actually punched all of them out and put them in my little container here. So I have all the clouds, all the tags, all those little journaling strips in here. This is the rest of that zip strip that I had cut away. So then when I'm creating with this, I can just, you know, kind of pull them out and see what works with my layout. Okay, I wrote the date on that one, and I'm thinking I'll put it right up here, kind of bring that rosy up. I had stamped and thin cut all of these from that stamp set, the Enjoy the Ride scrapbooking, or card making stamp. Okay, so I had cut a whole bunch of these out, and I did stamp this one in peach, even though that's not a coordinating color, but I thought it would kind of tie in all those oranges and reds and everything, and I don't have rosy ink. Okay, there was this little tag in the punch outs, this goes to project 2, that says love you, and I kind of thought that that worked good for the pictures of the two of us. I might want it over here, maybe on the green. This was actually from the sticker sheet. Here's that sticker sheet. I had pulled it off from up here, and I removed the adhesive. So I was thinking of using that. I also have these rosy hearts from the sticker sheet. Could maybe create an embellishment like that. And then these banners came off of this one was a sticker, this blue one, and then these two were the punch outs. So I kind of thought I could go something like that and maybe trim that one shorter. I have this sticker, and I went around it with my charcoal ink just to accentuate that a little bit, and I'm not sure which cluster I want that in yet. This was also a sticker, Hooray for Spring. Since this one's green, I think it needs to go up here. This one is rosy as well, and this one says best day ever. I could add that one in there. I have some hearts. Bring in that red. This is also open for embellishments, so I could bring in maybe some flowers up there and maybe pop those up. I could bring some flowers into this one. Maybe do I have a little blue flower? I do not, but I have this little guy I could do. And I could even have them spilling out the sides. I do think I'm gonna ink around these. I like this banner up top. So I'm just gonna go around the 3 edges of these. And I don't like putting them down on my paper right away after inking around them. Sometimes the ink can smear before it dries onto my pattern paper. Okay. I inked around these 2. Let's ink around this one. Look how that just gives it a little more definition and helps it stand off the page. We'll ink around this. I don't know that that circle needs ink. This little block is nice to get into this little, those little crevices. I know I like the banner up here, so I'm just going to use my tape runner for that. And it'll go right here. We could stop there, but I do want to bring in some more of that honey butter. So we'll bring this one in and let's cut it off right about here. And this one will go right up here. I could fussy cut this one out too and tuck it behind. I might actually do that. So I'm just gonna take this and I'm gonna leave a little bit of the white. And just carefully cut around. So then we can tuck this one behind as well. And then maybe do breath of fresh air. I have figured out my embellishment clusters. So I went ahead and got those adhered. Here's that title. And then my date, and I just have 2 little enamel dots. These are the enamel dots that came with this collection. Oh, here's the, all right. I put a little cluster down here of my stamped embellishments. I popped this one up, and then again, those little enamel dots. Three enamel dots here. I popped up this one, and then I kind of had my floral cluster spill out. Here's how that cluster turned out. This one is popped up on 3D foam tape. This one's popped up on 3D foam tape. This one's a little harder to see since the pattern paper matches it so closely, but popping this up on 3D foam tape and then spilling this out kind of helps it stick out, and you can tell there's an embellishment there. And then down here, I just have a nice simple cluster. If I had any journaling, I'd probably add it over here, but I'm okay with having a little bit of blank space there, and I really don't have anything to say. It was Devil's Gulch, and I have the dates, so I really don't have anything here to say. Let me go ahead and get these in page protectors, and then I'll show you how I'm going to add 14 more pictures. Okay, I have these in the page protectors, so sorry for the glare. Let's go ahead and maybe we'll start on this side. So I'm just going to set this one aside so I can get this centered in frame for you. So you want to make sure that your picture is centered in your flip flap and all the way down at the bottom. You want to make sure that your scrapbook page is all the way into your page protector. We'll go ahead and we'll fold this over and peel off the back of this. We'll line up the picture to the picture and lightly tack it. Oh, see, it moved. My fingers are stuck. Okay, lightly tack it. Make sure it's in the right spot, and then we'll burnish it in. And I like to use my little Cricut scraper to really burnish that, and it just disappears. Okay, make sure we didn't move anything. We'll go ahead and do this one next. So we want to make sure it's all the way in the bottom, and we'll remove this. Fold this one over. Line up the picture with the picture. Lightly tack it and burnish it in. I love how it just disappears. Okay, so this one flips that way, this one flips up. Look at how many more pictures we're adding. Okay, we'll go ahead and get this one put in. Remove the back. Fold that over. Now this one's going to be a little trickier. We got to line up the picture with the picture. All right, and burnish. Bring in our left-hand page and make sure that's all the way in. Okay, we have the big 4x6. Make sure that is centered. Peel off the back and fold that over. Line up the picture with the picture. And tack. That looks pretty good. And burnish that in. Okay. Now this one, let's see here, is this one. So actually, this would need to go either over or under this. So I'm actually thinking we might want to open it this direction so that we don't have to try to fight this. Look at the little geese with their babies. Aren't they so cute? Okay, so I want this one on top. Yeah. So that'll go in just like that. Let's flip that open. Peel off the back. Fold that over. This one in. All right. So now they're kind of overlapping here, but if you open this one, you can open this one, you can open this one. If you try to open this one first, it'll get kind of hung up, but I like that it keeps the cluster appearance. We have 24 pictures on this double page layout. We have 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope it brought you some crafty inspiration. If you're not already a part of my YouTube community, please consider hitting that subscribe button. I'd love to have you join us. And until next time, live a life worth scrapping. Bye, guys.